Hey there guys, how's it going? So it looks like this mandatory title defense between Anthony Joshua and his challenger Kubrat Pulev is going to be taking place in Cardiff in late October. It looks like it's been made official. Personally, I was hoping that the fight wouldn't happen because, to be perfectly honest, guys, I've been straight with you guys from the beginning. I think that this fight is a complete waste of time. I really do. I don't really know why so many people want to see this fight because, to be perfectly honest, guys, I mean, I know it's a mandatory. I know that obviously Anthony Joshua wants to keep hold of his IBF belt, so you know it's perfectly understandable him going through with the fight. I just think it's a waste of time. I think the fight's a mismatch. I really can't think of one thing that Kubrat Pulev can do in this fight that Vladimir Klitschko didn't do. You know, it's not just about the triangle theory that Vladimir beat Pulev and Joshua beat Vladimir. No, it's not. It's not about that. The fact is, Vladimir was about 6'6". You know, great jab, great left hook, very athletic. In the final fight of his career, looking to try and get a victory against Joshua, and he came very close to getting the victory. Dropped Joshua, and I had him ahead on points going into the 11th round where Joshua was able to get the stoppage. But the fact is, Kubrat Pulev to me just doesn't have the kind of athleticism, the kind of punching power, the kind of punch variety, or the kind of technical understanding of the sport that Vladimir Klitschko has. I mean, let's talk about what Kubrat Pulev does have. He has a very good jab. His jab is very, very effective. You know, it's a really you know, it's like a real pumping jab. You know, he pumps it out there. It looks to break your nose, looks to mess up your face. It's not just a rangefinder or a punch that he uses to set up his right hand. No, the jab is his weapon. It's a weapon that he's very heavily reliant on in the ring. And so, obviously, you know, when you've got a jab like that, it gives you a chance of really messing your opponents around. But the problem is, that's pretty much all he has in terms of punch variety. I mean, Kubrat Pulev, he's very, very heavily reliant on the jab. His right hand, he's got a decent straight right hand, but it's really nothing special. I mean, it can't really compare to Vladimir Klitschko's right hand. You know, again, his left hook is more like a slapping left hook. I've never really seen him put anybody down with that shot. In Kubrat Pulev's last fight, for example, he fought Kevin Johnson. And the fight went 12 rounds. He was able to hit Kevin Johnson with pretty much everything, and wasn't able to put a dent in him. wasn't even able to come close to putting him down. Whereas Anthony Joshua, when he fought Kevin Johnson quite a while earlier, he almost stopped Kevin Johnson in the first round. He had him down multiple times. Kevin Johnson barely made it out of that round, and then in the second round got knocked the fuck out. So clearly, look, there's levels to the game is what I'm saying, guys. Anthony Joshua is by far a much higher level of fighter than Kubrat Pulev is. I mean, he's just so much more talented. He's much stronger. He hits much harder. He's the better boxer. You know, he's very, very dangerous behind a jab. I mean, Anthony Joshua, to me, his punch technique, just the way that he delivers his combinations, it's beautiful. Really is beautiful to watch. And he is by far right now the king in the heavyweight division. And I just can't see anything that a fighter who is as limited as Kubrat Pulev, I can't see anything he can do in this fight. So to me, the fight's a mismatch. I think it's a waste of time. I would have much rather have seen Anthony Joshua face a unification fight next. I mean, after beating Klitschko, I mean, Kubrat Pulev to me just seems a step down. It seems a step in the wrong direction, a step backwards from fighting Klitschko. I'd have much rather have seen him try and get that Deontay Wilder fight, but I know Deontay Wilder is, you know, he's a cherry picker, so I don't know if he would even take the Joshua fight now, but obviously if the money was right, I'm sure he would, okay, because it's a bigger payday than he would ever make in his career fighting Joshua, so yeah, I would have loved to have seen that fight next, or I would have loved to have seen Joshua face a unification with the winner of Joseph Parker, Hughie Fury. I get that Joshua wants to hold on to his belts. Look, I'm not criticizing him for taking the fight. I'm just saying that from my perspective, I don't really think I'm gonna tune in to see this fight. I'm not excited about this fight. This fight doesn't get me excited. To me, this is just it's kind of like the Eric Molina fight. You know, it's just a formality. It's just a tune-up fight for Joshua, a stay busy fight. and I don't see anything that Kubrat Pulev can do to give Joshua any problems. I really don't. I mean, yeah, he's got a really good jab. So what? Joshua's also got a good jab. So yeah, I think that Pulev will be knocked out. I think it'll be within the first 4 rounds. If Pulev is able to survive to the 5th round, it'll probably just be to do with holding and spoiling and stuff like that. I can't see him surviving more than a few rounds in this fight without some kind of illegal tactic like holding and spoiling, because I mean, like I said, Kubrat Pulev just isn't the type of fighter Vladimir Klitschko is. When Kubrat Pulev fought Vladimir Klitschko, for example, all it took was one clean left hook from Klitschko, and Pulev was on the canvas already in the first round. So I really question Pulev's punch resistance. I think that Joshua will knock him out, and I think it'll be quick. Again, I like Anthony Joshua. He's great for boxing, and I'll be happy if he's able to destroy Pulev and then move on to bigger and better things. But it's just that this fight in particular, I'm just not interested. Okay, I don't think it's an interesting fight. I don't think it's going to be entertaining. I think it's just going to be like the Eric Molina fight. I think Pulev's going to get blown away. So, hopefully, if Anthony Joshua does beat Pulev, which let's be real, he's going to beat Pulev, hopefully they can negotiate a unification next. I mean, the easiest one to make would be if Hughie Fury is able to defeat Joseph Parker, which I think is a distinct possibility. I think that Hughie Fury is a very live dog in that fight, especially since he's got the fight in his backyard and it's on a Frank Warren card. I certainly think that Hughie Fury can win that fight on points. That would be an easy fight to make in the UK, and they would be able to really sell that fight, and that's one that I would be interested in, because it's a unification and because it's a big domestic rivalry. It'll be a lot riding in that fight, so. There'd be a lot at stake, and I'm really looking forward to that fight if it does get made. Obviously, if Joseph Parker is able to beat Fury, then perhaps a Parker-Joshua fight. I don't know if they could negotiate that. I know they tried to make that fight before, however, the WBO gave Joseph Parker a ranking, and he went down the WBO route instead. I'm not sure if Joseph Parker wants to fight Joshua, to be honest, but like I said, I mean, if the money's right. Obviously, Anthony Joshua right now is the biggest draw in the heavyweight division. So if anybody wants to get their biggest payday, they got to come see him. Okay, he's the man at heavyweight right now, and it is what it is. So, I'd love to see a unification fight next. But with Anthony Joshua, to me, he's that good and he's that impressive and he's that much of a commodity in boxing that I think fights against people like Kubrat Pulev, who he's going to destroy, they just don't really... they just don't really satisfy me as a boxing fan. I want to see him. I want to see this guy in big fights with a lot of stake. I want to see him fight Wilder. I want to see him fight the Joshua Fury winner. Obviously, there's Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz would get destroyed by Joshua. Don't get me wrong, but it's a better fight than Pulev, in my opinion, stylistically. Let's see what happens here. Pulev's going to get destroyed. The fight's a mismatch and a waste of time. But hopefully, once Anthony Joshua sorts Kubrat Pulev out, hopefully they can get a unification, because he really needs one. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.